What's going on, everybody? C4 here today, giving you your 10 things breakdown for the Philadelphia Eagles' upcoming matchup against the Rams. You may notice, why is this on Friday, not Saturday? They usually come out the day before. There is no rebuild today because every video for the last day or so has been getting auto-demonetized. This means that, you know, obviously demonetization on YouTube is an incredibly big issue, but my videos have nothing wrong with it. Like last night's video where I had college football all-stars versus the Cleveland Browns got auto-demonetized. Didn't swear. Tags are 100% bland vanilla, as appropriate as you can get, unless it's getting demonetized because Baker Mayfield, maybe he's a little controversial off the field. I don't know, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 of my last 6 videos have been auto demonetized. The only one that wasn't was my Snowhawks live stream. So I'm not going to upload any rebuilds until this gets kind of figured out. Luckily enough, I have the 12 days of rebuilds coming up next Thursday, which is 12 days straight of rebuild. So it does suck. I mean, I hate not being able to upload a rebuild right now, but I make 70% of my money are from the rebuilds, and if they're just getting auto demonetized right now, it seems like maybe YouTube's kind of like the time of the month. You know, it seems like one week every month it's just unbearable, and the other 3 weeks it's fine. So hopefully, you know, a couple normal uploads over this weekend gets me out of the trend, gets the YouTube robot off my you-know-what, because I can't even say that because I might get auto demonetized. I don't know. But if you guys right now, I know it's the season of giving. I know personally I'm almost broke because I'm, you know, obviously getting Christmas presents and stuff like that. But the best way to support me, especially times like right now where it's incredibly frustrating, is through my Patreon account, which is in the top link of the description. Is absolutely helpful, especially like I said right now where it's just demoralizing to try to make videos and content knowing that I'm not making any money on it, and I don't want it to be a money issue. You know what I'm saying? I want it just to be, I get paid, which is fine, but more so I just want to keep coming out with really good content, just be excited that you guys get to see it, and right now it's very, very tough to do that. So, that being said, that's why there's no rebuild today, and let's jump into the top 10 things that we need to keep an eye on for the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Rams. So, it's coming out today because obviously daily uploads, going to keep the uploads up. So at number 10 for the Eagles versus the Rams, Zach Ertz has been cleared from concussion protocol. That's a huge boost to the offense. We're a little bit worried after. It was like a weird looking hit against the Seahawks. I didn't even really see how it would have been a concussion, but I guess it was. He got shooken up, came out the field. I assumed he would be back because it didn't look, it wasn't like a big time hit or anything. It was more so, I think, his head hitting the turf. He is going to be back. We know Wentz and Ertz have been top 3. They're like almost on, maybe even equal to, at least this season, Brady Gronk in terms of a quarterback tight end duo, which is excellent, and he's been actually playing like a monster. So obviously I don't think they'll ever hit the level of Brady and Gronk, but if they can get like right in the tier below that, I am perfectly fine. That is exactly what we need for the offense, and that's going to be huge against the Rams, who haven't had the best of luck against stopping tight ends, which is kind of odd because, you know, Mark Barron, Alec Ogletree, they're athletic linebackers, but it seems like tight ends usually have some good days against the Rams. Number 9 is Trumaine Johnson, matched up fairly well with Alshon Jeffrey. Both long-ranging guys, not speedsters. It's going to be a physical battle. So, yeah, like I said, it's going to be a legitimate battle for Alshon Jeffrey, who's drawn against some of the, you know, toughest corner competition this season, which, you know, it's a little bit odd signing a one-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles initially. Obviously, he got paid knowing, maybe, you know, him and his agent break through all the Philadelphia Eagles opponents, seeing that he's drawing for, you know, 12 over 16 games, legitimate corner ones in this league, and he's been performing really, really well. Like, it looks like Alshon Jeffrey's going to finish maybe under 1,000 yards, but I would expect double digit in terms of touchdowns, which is, you know, really good for Alshon's never really a big 1,000-yard guy. If Alshon Jeffrey, for me, you told me every year he gets between 800 and under 1,000 yards, but 10+ touchdowns every season, I will take that easy. So that battle against Trumaine Johnson, who's very, very good at corner, is definitely one to keep an eye out for. If you have Alshon in your fantasy lineup, may want to tweak that a little bit. Going up on number 8, you know, it doesn't feel as bad as a road game. You know, when you understand that you have to go all the way across country, you're like, oh, it's gonna be brutal. We saw what happened in Seattle, and they had the most out of CenturyLink Field. But we've been out there already. We're already adjusted to the time zone. Don't have to worry about that east to west coast thing in case it was like a 1 week off thing, which is good. Plus, it's the Rams. It's gonna be more of a LA Chargers type home game where it's going to be pretty split, you say. There may even be a chance that there's more Eagle fans there than Rams fans, so it's going to be completely different than what happened against Seattle at CenturyLink Field, so that is good for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not as big. I would still say it is definitely a disadvantage, but not nearly as big as last week against Seattle. Number 7 is it. We win this game, we clinch the division. You know, there is a chance we don't win this game. There's a chance that this Philadelphia Eagles team is incredibly soft, and we've only beaten up on weak teams with a couple difficult ones like the Panthers and Chargers. And you know, there's definitely a legitimate chance that the Seahawks bumped us off our game and we're going to struggle in this game. So even if by that chance nothing goes right in this ball game, if Dallas loses, we still clinch the division, which is automatically a playoff berth, which is good. I mean, that's pretty much bottom tier. Last goal that you want to see for the season is just the Eagles to make the playoffs. Obviously, you want to see home field advantage, first round bye, all that good stuff. But, you know, this is a big one, man. I understand that other teams can cause us to clinch, but I want to do it under our own power. I want it to be Philadelphia doing it. So this is really our last big test of the regular season, I would say, against the Rams. I think we have the Chargers next week. We have the Raiders on Christmas, which is awesome. We have the Cowboys on New Year's Eve. So, I mean, we're getting festive. 'Tis the season, all the holidays. The Eagles are playing on it. I'd feel out of those 3 games, there's no way in hell Philly doesn't get 12 wins this year. I don't see, especially if somehow, somewhere we slip up in this ball game, we're not resting our starters against Dallas. So I'd say Dallas and, you know, you could probably say the Giants are going to be wins. I mean, Dallas is going to have Zeke. It's going to be an interesting matchup. But let's say worst case scenario, we can win one more. There's no way we're losing that game. We own the Giants, and the Giants are piss poor right now. That's going to be a body bag. But ultimately, bringing it back to this one, Philly versus the Rams. If we win this game, we clinch the division. All is well. And I really do feel like if this game goes right, if this, you know, bounce back performance makes us look like the Philadelphia Eagles of 2 weeks ago, because I don't really want to look like the Eagles team against the Bears because we were incredibly sloppy in that one. I think we'll forget that game against Seattle is a thing that passed, and we won't really have to worry about playing Seattle in Seattle again. And I do believe, and I'm fairly confident in saying that if Seattle and Philly meet in the playoffs and it's in Philly, I'm not going to say it's going to be no right win because Russell Wilson's a incredible quarterback, legitimate MVP candidate. I still feel comfortable in that game. I'm not panicking. I'm not worried. Going to point number 6 is that the Rams have a great kicker who will take advantage of Philadelphia's bend but don't break defense. Good. Let's let them. Let's let Greg Zuerlein, Greg the Leg, Legatron go off because they're not going to get touchdowns, baby. This is all going to be playing into the Philadelphia Eagles' hand because, you know, the Rams are a team, prolific offense, but they settle for field goals. Their kicker, if you ever played against Greg Zuerlein in fantasy football, he's getting 15-some points a week. They take advantage of bend but don't break. That's where the Philadelphia Eagles are going to thrive because while the Rams are settling for field goals, we're going to be putting up touchdowns, baby. Going to point number 5 is the mantra, we haven't beat anyone at good yet. It got even more loud, even more magnified after we lost to the Seahawks. The Rams are a legitimate team, and I think if we can beat the Rams, we'll have, at worst, 3 quality wins on the season versus the Chargers, versus the Panthers, and versus the Rams. I will take that. Those are 3 teams that are probably playoff teams. And, like, again, man, you really need to look at the Patriots' schedule. Patriots are another team that Philadelphia Eagles get compared to in terms of the league's best. I mean, the Vikings are certainly in that right. Rams, hell, even the Rams, Saints, stuff like that. But it seems like, you know, you look at the NFC, a lot of people still are convinced that the Eagles are the best team. And when you look at the AFC, you're like, well, the Patriots are so good. Patriots have just as easy of a schedule. They have that one impressive win against the Saints. Do they have any other good wins on the season? They have a couple bad losses like the Philadelphia Eagles do. I mean, I don't know, man. You haven't beat anyone good yet goes for most of the playoff teams in this. Honestly, I think the Vikings might be like the only team that can kind of walk away from the we haven't beat anyone good yet, but then it comes back to, well, yes, you've been very impressive, but you still have Case Keenum as your quarterback. So, yeah. All right, moving on to point number 4 is what Doug Peterson are we going to get? Are we going to get the Doug Peterson that's fearless, that's often criticized by myself on Twitter when he goes for it on 4th down as much as he does and doesn't take the points? Are we going to get the Doug Peterson that lets Carson Wentz just rip it? Or are we going to get the Doug Peterson we saw last week against Seattle? The one that was kind of fearful to call those gutsy plays. The one that was very, very timid, went with a bland offense, knowing that he's going up against a legitimate team. He's on a road game, altering what got us to 10-1, or well, 10-2 now. That's what we saw against Seattle. We saw a play calling that he bit into the hype of Seattle. He bit into the fact that this was going to be a tough game and didn't just call it as every other game of the season. He could very well fall into that trap again against a very good Rams team. And I hope to God it doesn't happen because, man, we need this win. We need this win for a fan base to know, for belief, that our team has a legitimate shot in the playoffs. I'm going to tell you right now, if Philadelphia, after we saw how they played against Seattle, if they lose against the Rams, I have no confidence for them going to the playoffs. I'm not going to be, oh, they're going to lose or, oh, we suck. But if they beat the Rams, I'm going to be like, yeah, all right. The Seattle Seahawks game was Russell Wilson playing his best game of his season, maybe one of the best games of his career. I think that game against Philly might go down as, obviously he's had some massive ones, but if you're doing the top 10 performances of Russell Wilson's career, that game against Philly might creep into that top 10. I have no problem sucking up and like, all right, you know, we caught in a phenom quarterback on one of the best games of his career. I get it. You're not going to beat him in that scenario. But if we can at least beat the Rams, I can feel confident that, all right, yeah, Saints, all right, Vikings, yeah, whoever, we can beat them in the playoffs. Take them home, bring them in front of the fans of the Link, give me them. But if we lose against this Rams because of Doug Pearson's play calling, I'm worried going into the playoffs that the same thing's going to happen. We're a team, when the going gets tough, when it's going to be a battle, we may be the underdogs. We play like underdogs. We don't play the way that we're supposed to play. So we get a good first hand of that on Sunday to see how Doug Pearson responds from that loss against a very good Rams team. Number 3 is Big V versus Aaron Donald. I assume Wade Phillips is going to find a way to get Aaron Donald matched up on Big V. I'm a little bit afraid, a little bit. I would much rather have Lane Johnson try to treat Aaron Donald a little bit like Von Miller, but you need to understand, Big V did not look good. He actually looked horrendous against Seattle Seahawks. Frank Clark was bodying him. Sheldon Richardson got some plays. So I'm a little bit worried. This is probably the number 1 mismatch for the Rams going up against the Eagles. So it's going to be interesting to see how Big V can hold up. Big V, better known as probably better than Jason Peters, according to Skip Bayless. I think we're going to have to definitely have Brent Selleck in there helping him chip, because that front 7 for the Rams, especially down on the front 3 there with Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers. I think they have like a rotation at the other spot. They're really, really good. So we're going to have to show up to play there on the offensive line and protect our franchise QB. Go to point number 2 is Carson Wentz bounce back game. We have to see how he responds to adversity. He looked mad, and I want to see what our quarterback plays mad like. He's too intelligent to make bad decisions, have a cloudy judgment, think with too much aggression, trying to make too many plays happen. But this is the first time you saw the frustration on Wentz's face after he left 4 touchdowns against the Seahawks. If Wentz was playing his best game against the Seahawks, we win that game. We had everything, all the plus minus stats outside of turnovers were in the Philadelphia Eagles' favor. If you looked at the box score from that game, you'd say the Eagles probably won that. But because of the turnovers, because Wentz had his worst game of the season, that's why we got that L against Seattle, on top of obviously Russell Wilson being incredible. So this is a bounce back game for Wentz, and it's the Wentz versus Goff. Who is the better pick right now? Goff has shown immense improvement. He's playing very, very well, while Wentz is in MVP consideration. So I think Wentz is definitely a little bit ahead of Goff right now. But Goff, that's motivation for Jared Goff. That's Jared Goff saying, all right, well, our offense is flying high right now, and I want to show that I'm not that far off from Carson Wentz. So it is going to be an absolute battle. I'm very excited. I think these two offenses are going to be very, very explosive. But more so, I want to see how Carson Wentz bounce back from a crucial, pretty critical loss against the Seahawks last week. And the final point, stop Gurley. I think ultimately it kind of falls back into the narrative I just said. Let's see what Jared Goff can do. Let's see if Jared Goff can beat us. We're not going to let Todd Gurley, who, in my opinion, is a legitimate MVP candidate, as much as a non-QB could be this year. We got to stop Todd Gurley. He is now not only a beast between the tackles, he can catch the ball at the backfield, which is a big-time problem because Philly historically has struggled against those types of running backs. So we're going to fill this number 1 point with my prediction for MVP. I think if Philly wins this game, Nigel Bradham is going to have an outstanding game. He's the guy I think we're going to stick on trying to stop Todd Gurley. You're going to take Todd Gurley away. We're going to have Bradham make, hopefully, open field tackles, limit the amounts of yak Gurley can get on screen passes. And ultimately, again, that's how we're going to beat the Rams. We're going to have to throw it on Jared Goff's shoulders to try to beat us, and don't let Todd Gurley have a big-time game. And I think that is totally possible. This defense, this team is hungry. We're not going to be the dancing team anymore because the Seattle Seahawks punched us in the mouth, and we're seeing blood, we're seeing red, and we're looking for revenge. So let me know what you guys think about this game in the comment section below. Are you hopeful of the Philadelphia Eagles' chances or not? As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid of that subscribe button. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out, and please don't demonetize this. For the love of God, YouTube. You're making me hate you.